Good morning. This is Dr. Michael Datcher, and you have reached the 445 Productive Through Joy show. Feeling a bit under the weather today, so I'm just touching and rolling a bit to speak briefly about the ideal of being in the present moment, which my mind's a little foggy right now, but I'm going to push through briefly here. And especially in times like this when you're not feeling 1,000%, it's good to be able to still be in the moment and not run and or flee from it. Again, if you're new to the show airs each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. and goes until 5 a.m. Here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Then 4:45 p.m. and goes until 5 p.m. On Facebook Live. Again, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com. We speak to groups and organizations about being productive through joy. We also offer very powerful live one-on-one productive through joy consulting. Again, go to productivethroughjoy.com. Also, just hit the subscribe button here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. All right, we're going to dive right in. We're just touching and rolling. Again, if you're new to the show, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, which was a Today Show book of the month. Pick that book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called my people, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the former executive director of the World Stage Literary and Jazz Venue here in California. I'm the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where Michael Brown was murdered, and of course the conflagration that ensued initially there. That book will be out April 2018. It's in a couple months here. Look for that in bookstores everywhere. Published on iconic Third World Press, the press founded by Hakeem Mahabuti, a legendary figure who we are honored to be affiliated with. So yes, we're touching and rolling. Again, if you just joined us, I'm not feeling well today, so I'm just going to be touching and rolling. Wanted to still show up and represent, even when the things that impact us. All right. So we're talking briefly about the idea of the present moment, about being in the present moment, despite whatever is happening, and being able to thrive and love fully in those present moments. In the morning show, we also talk about the impact of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. So let me speak briefly about that before we move forward. In the morning, I read a couple as part of my morning practice. Even this morning, though not feeling great, I read I get up at 3:45 a.m. I read a couple spiritual indoor business books. I do our show now at 4:45 a.m. and then I work on my current novel until sunrise. At sunrise, I go to the beach and meditate, pray, do yoga, do the things that I do to make myself strong, even when I'm not feeling so strong. So today I'm reading two great books, Carl Lintz's Owning the Moment and The Nag Hammadi Reader, a book of ancient scriptures. And from those two books, I extract some wisdom. In today's morning chant, based upon those books, of course, change as I read them and go through them and add new books to the books I'm studying, but those are my books at the present. So from those two books, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I love and thrive fully in the present moment and the future, so the future will build itself. So we're talking today about being in the present moment. So let's dive into that topic. So point one is that you want to be able to identify that you're living in a series of moments. That's the hard part of this project, because we are just going through our days and we're raising kids, working, we're just trying to get through sometimes. But when you can recognize that these days that you're trying to get through are actually individualized moments, you can begin, that are discrete, that are individual in many ways, although of course they're also connected. You can dive more fully into the individualized moments and then begin to own them, as Carl Lentz says, or seize them, or be about them. Which is point one, is recognizing that there is a moment to seize. But point two is, bam, seizing that moment, or what I like to say is thriving in that moment, really being fully present to it. What does that mean? It means that you are fully engaged. I know for many of us, including myself at times, it's easier just to fly into fantasy, fly into some past situation, especially when things are not going your way. It's like, ooh, this is tough. You want to just kind of fly into a different time, kind of a menagerie, a daydream, and that can be a nice pressure release at times, but you don't want to go too far in that. You want to be present and be dealing with what you need to deal with, because it just makes you stronger. Because once you come through that, you just feel much more powerful. Even though you're going to have your setbacks because we're human, but as you just keep pushing ahead, it builds a sense of power and self-respect, which goes into right into point three. As you thrive in the moment, even when things are not going your way, even when you're not feeling well, like I'm not feeling well today, as if you just joined the show, you may have heard from earlier in the show. But as we push through these types of times, this is where the character is built. This is where the strength comes from. Because once you go through these points and you look back and you're like, whoo, I went through it. And look at me now. How you like me now, right? You come out and emerge as a more powerful being. And also the people around you who see you going through those times and see you keep moving through, they're also encouraged by your strength. It allows them to be stronger in their own lives. So, boom, that's it for today's show. This show airs each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. and goes until 5 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. To 5 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thanks for being here. We air each weekday morning, hella early at 4:45 a.m. I just said that. A little loopy today. Definitely go to productivethroughjoy.com. Have me come out speak to your group or organization. Hit the subscriber button here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Yeah, look for me in April. I'll be doing a bunch of media stuff. I'll be on the BBC, but I'll announce all those things as they come closer in April. I'll be doing readings around the country, here in LA, but also, of course, other places. I'll be back east. Yeah, so thanks. We'll see you this afternoon, hopefully, at 4:45 p.m. Maybe from bed, but we'll do it at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Thanks for being here. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.